Hi, welcome to another Primo Guitar Studio instructional video. Today we're going to talk about the mechanics of strumming, a fundamental many people overlook. Alright, now when we strum, what we're going to use is a compound motion. That means two movements at once. The first is going to be our elbow extending like this, out and back. The second is going to be our wrist rotating. It actually rotates at the elbow joint. The radius will travel around the ulna. You want to flick your hand like you're trying to flick something onto the ceiling. Okay? You're going to put those two together like this. Nice wide semicircle. Alright, now when you apply that motion to the guitar, I want you to pretend like you're brushing hair or petting your dog, just like this. Notice I have a good combination of wrist and elbow in my strum. Two big mistakes I see people making are keeping their wrist totally straight, which gives you a very punchy sound. And I also see people keeping their elbow totally solid and then only using the wrist, which gives you a small range of motion. You want a nice wide range of motion and a good combination of elbow and wrist to get a good sound. Again, pretend like you're brushing hair or petting a dog. Alright, now just before I was strumming a G chord, which is a 6-string chord. When we start applying this to smaller chords like say a C, in order to avoid this low E string, which isn't in the chord, what you're going to want to do is use more wrist and less elbow and tighten up the semicircle in your right hand. It's going to sound like this. Notice my elbow travels less. On a 4-string chord, like a D, it's going to be even more wrist and less elbow. See how my elbow barely moves? Now a lot of times people have trouble aiming for 5 strings or 4 strings. The trick to that is actually visualizing the chord in your head. So if you visualize a C chord, your right hand knows what that looks like and will look to grab 5 strings instead of 4. Same thing on a D. Alright, that concludes our discussion of proper strumming technique. If you're having trouble getting the tone just right, make sure you're holding the pick correctly. You might want to check out my other video on how to correctly hold a pick. You also might want to check around my YouTube channel. I have a couple videos demonstrating some strum patterns on which you can apply this technique.